I'm Laurie Brown, and this is Pondercast. Interviewing the Rheostatics is like trying to keep 4 cats in a bathtub. But hell, I'm game. The Rheostatics are pioneers in the world of Canadian rock music. They have an incredibly loyal following, and they've been doing it for a very long time. They have connected with their fans on a one-to-one level. They have crisscrossed this country countless times touring, and their joie de vivre is always apparent on stage. I've always been a fan of this band because of the unabashed way they can write about this country, because of their sense of humor, and mostly for the astonishing palette of colors and tones and sounds they bring to their work. I thought that they would never have another album. I mean, it's been 15 years since the last one. But look, they've just released Here Come the Wolves. And to celebrate, they played live at Sonic Boom in Toronto. But before they did, I interviewed the band on stage in front of a room full of fans. You'll hear from Martin Tielli, Dave Clark, Dave Bedini, and Tim Vesely. And you'll hear 3 new tracks from the album. It's been 15 years since an album. How did this happen?
David J. Clark.
Martin R. Tielli.
We started playing together again. We got together to do the group of music we wrote for the Group of 7 at the Art Gallery of Ontario, and it was so much fun. We just kept going.
Was it the idea of making an album? Was it more that you wanted just to play together, or that you wanted to actually record new music together?
We were playing together, and then songs started showing up, and it started being fun, Laurie. You know that crazy biz where all of a sudden it's like, oh.
We are comfortable with each other, and we like to play with each other, but we like to terrify each other too a little bit. There has to be a little bit of terror in the creation, and putting this record together and stuff too. So, yeah. Kevin
Hearn and Hugh Marsh are on this record. Tell me how the dynamic of 2 more people in the room, well, how does that change both the human dynamic of being in the band and also the musical dynamic?
It's 2 new guys to make fun of, really, is what it's all about.
Especially the bald one.
Especially the bald one.
Having Hugh Marsh in the room is kind of like having 3 cats lying on the top of the couch when you're watching your favorite show and you just reach back. Because he is such a dude. He's
Hairless
such
cats.
a nice person. He is. He instills confidence in you.
Hairless cats.
He's fun. He is the genius comes out of the wall and visits him on everything he does. He is a fair and balanced adjudicator of heavy goodness, and he wants nothing but the best for what we're doing, and he is the biggest cheerleader for the band. That Kevin Hearn, though, he's a bad man.
He's a bad man.
I've often thought that Kevin Hearn probably has the biggest heart of anyone that I've ever met.
What has he ever done for anybody?
He has the biggest apartment.
That's true.
Oh, really?
But Kevin is
right.
truly a musical monster, and also a great mediator. A great mediator. And not that this band would ever need a mediator, but Kevin is very, very good.
The first song on the album is Vancouver. It has a glorious, panoramic, epic, sweeping feel to this song that I can just see people who actually live in Vancouver grabbing onto this piece of music in a big way, because it is filled with heart, and it does feel as big as everything is in Vancouver.
I think once we started working on that song, which was, it felt really good. I felt like we did imbue a West Coast breezy kind of heaviosity feeling to it. That made me very happy, and to elucidate. And that song in the studio was, as you hear in general, it just basically it was live off the floor, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was the first run through, top to bottom. First thing in the morning. It's a thing against the mountains as the sun it seems to fall. From such a perspective we see so clearly, and we see the earth rotating. Vancouver, I am not a city boy. I can't see what isn't there. I do not fumble over icons. I can't see what should be there. So you've injected your veins with love. Now you've come back down for treatment. Are you always hypnotized? Are you always hypnotized? Why can't you just surrender? They will start the feast again. It's a thing against the mountains as the sun it seems to fall. From such a perspective we saw so clearly, and we saw the earth rotating.
The title of the album and the title track is Here Come the Wolves. Where did that come from?
From David Agostino Bedini.
It, that song is, was really inspired by the Ford administration and the rise of fascism. I like writing protest music, and I thought it could be interesting to try to write a song that both was sort of angry and protest based, but also beautiful and strange, and that it needed three parts to kind of to achieve that, I think. And it's fun for us to write songs like that because we have so many tools at our disposal and so many singers. Mm-hmm. And so when a band with so many singers, it affords us the opportunity to write songs where the voice changes and personalities move in and out vocally, and that's why that song was 7 minutes and with three parts. But it's meant to sort of terrify and soothe at the same time, I think.
And that's what it does. It feels actually like a symphony in three movements because the different movement, it's very, very different in each movement. I got the fascism thing right at the beginning, but like a lot of lyrics by you guys, sometimes they feel like they came from conversations, they came from inside jokes and conversations, and they're very enigmatic sometimes for me. But the point is that when I'm listening to them, it kind of doesn't matter that they're not really easy to figure out because the feeling and the sentiment is right there and easy for me to feel, which kind of feels like poetry. I get the same sense about poetry. I read a poem and I don't know really what it means, but I know the feeling. And the feeling is all that we actually need.
I think art communicates before it's understood. My wife's said that before, and it's so true, I think everybody can comprehend it in their own personal way.
Wires, needle, under skin, connect to mothership. Treadmill living makes us strong. We're healthy, but we're sick. Here come the wolves. Here come the wolves. Beauty born in poverty. Dreams die on the hill. From my knees, yes, pretty please. Minister the pill. Feed our master, feed him faster. Work, then drink, then sleep. When I'm done and lost and numb, give me another week. Here come the wolves. Here come the. In the evening, I'm tired of walking. I go down to the river and I think about nothing. I sit down and I try to figure why I followed myself down here. There were times when things were better and times when things were worse. In the evening when I'm tired of working, I go down to the river and I think about nothing. I was thinking on the back of the stone. I was thinking about leaving. I was thinking about home. I think of you and I wanna remember what it felt like to be free. From the valley up, the mountain beyond, the river clear. In the evening when I'm tired of working, I go down to the river and I think about nothing. Here come the wolves. Here come the wolves. Here come the wolves. Here come the.
When you have the opportunity in a band to not have one lead singer, but to have three, does that make you a better player when you don't have to sing every song?
Yes.
It's also like when
It relaxes everything. Like if you're on, I mean, it's fantastic because if you're having a bad night, which I quite often do, people, you know, it's not all on your shoulders. Simple as that. And well, Maltinetti here is very good at taking shows that, you know, I'm flying that Lancaster into the mud, and then Bogdan will just come up with a ridiculous idea that just pulls the pickle out.
It's neat to kind of like in some songs to focus, okay, I'm going to focus on a backing vocal, or I'm going to focus on a harmony. I'm going to put the kind of commitment to that backing vocal or that harmony or that part that I would as if I were singing the song. Like I'm going to give, well, maybe I'm even going to give more to the song because it's not my song or because I'm not singing it. Like that's, like an assist is as good as a goal, you know, to me. And yeah, so I think that's part of the challenge too, but it's also part of the reward, I think, as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Me, I'd sing every song all night long if I could.
Be my guest, Dave.
I do. That's why I've got my own band.
There is a beautiful song on the album, and it's called "Beautiful Night." What can you tell us about that song, Tim?
I was hoping you weren't going to pick that one because I really haven't thought much about that song.
It's about Vancouver
Really?
and drugs.
That's right. That's just about looking up into outer space at night, basically, and writing down what comes to mind.
There is such an openness and heart and playfulness as well in that song and in the whole album. And there's a lightness to it that it was so welcome and lovely to hear. It was the lightness of it, and I thought, you hear a lot about bands that haven't played gotten together for a long time, and they come back and do something, and there's something missing, and there wasn't that missing. You didn't, you're not grumpy old men. There is.
We're pretty grumpy.
There is.
I'm
kinda
really,
old.
really grumpy.
Really old.
But if it wasn't fun, if we couldn't sit here and joke and fuddy-do around like we did before you came up here, I just wouldn't do it. Like the best part actually of playing and hanging out with these guys is often it is the hang. And the music is an extension of that. Hopefully, all the goofing and joking, and you walk on stage and it's still going. And it doesn't mean that the music, you're not taking the music serious. I'm deadly serious about having fun about everything that I do as an artist. But I want to enjoy myself, and I get to enjoy myself with these guys. And when that stops, then I'll work at Kim's Convenience. No,
I think we were like, even from the beginning, we were kind of grumpy old men, even when we were kind of 19 or 20, like,
Nothing.
Grumpy
we weren't.
teenagers.
I don't think we were afraid of it, anyways. We weren't afraid of being cynical. We weren't afraid of being, angry. We weren't afraid of being loud. We weren't afraid of being idiots. We weren't afraid of being,
That's the key one there, idiots.
It's true. Like we really, yeah.
So you can be serious and a joker at the same time.
There is one more question, and that is that the fans and the friends that you have made over all these years with the Rheostatics are going to be very happy about this album. And you have built I really think of Rio fans as, it's kind of like a tribe. It is a real tribe, and I wonder how much of that energy and that feeling from the people who come to see you and follow you and you become friends with, how much is that part of what the Rheostatics is?
I don't think the record would have happened without all that support, especially from Shauna DeCarche. Thanks, Shauna.
Also, Darren Kapp as well for all the work that he's done. When we were an inactive band, one of our supporters was gathering material from sort of lost sources and building this living Rheostatics archive, and that was encouraging too, to know that people cared enough to really kind of want to explore the music and put the music out there, and so in that sense, it really kind of, I think it helped us see that what we'd done was vital still, and that there was reason to do it almost because of that.
We were like pre-digital, a pre-digital band, and Darren sort of bridged that gap and kept it alive. It could have just disappeared. Pretty cool. Thanks,
Yeah,
Darren.
he has more to do with the album than would be aware. What people would be surface aware of.
Yeah, I think we've been extremely lucky. And My one of my oldest friends lives downstairs from me for 22 years from Thunder Bay. Met him on tour when we were on tour there. I met my wife through this band, and so many friends. And I'd like to thank anybody and who's listening and everybody here for ever being kind enough to consider and take the time to pay attention to us, or anything that any kindness you've shown us with regard to the band. It's changed my life and made it a beautiful place to be. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Let's
Laurie.
play.
Thanks,
Thank
Laurie.
you,
Thanks, Laurie.
Laurie.
Beautiful night, oh no, fading light, so slow, cue the stars, aglow. Beautiful night, oh no, here we go. Feel the current.